All right, welcome into an emergency edition, a Saturday edition of the Clay Edwards Show podcast, also known as the Save Jackson podcast. I'm live here in the ClayEdwardsShow.com home studio today. If you're listening to this on audio only, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Podbean, any of those other platforms, there is an accompanying video version of this on the Save Jackson YouTube channel. Just go search Save JXN. I may also upload it to the Save Jackson or Clay Edwards Show or both Facebook feeds. Also, I'll at least share the YouTube link there if you want to see what the home studio looks like. If you want to see what I look like, if you don't already know for some odd reason. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Man, so much stuff has happened over the last couple of days here in central Mississippi that I can't help but do an emergency broadcast. My lady friend is at her son's graduation. I got some downtime. I got off work early. It's beautiful outside. So what do? I sit inside and work on a Saturday. That's what we do around here. That's what we do. When you're passionate about what you do, this is playing. This is fun. You do enjoy doing this. I don't enjoy having to spread bad news, but I do enjoy giving my opinion on Clown World. And that's what we're going to discuss a little bit today is Clown World on a local and a national level. I got a lot of topics here. This may last 30 minutes. This may last an hour. We'll see how it goes. I got one cold beer sitting right here, a Coors Light. When it's done, I'm done. I'm kidding. All right. If you hear any dogs barking in the background, I got two little mutts in the house. We got a puppy lab outside. So I can't, nothing I can do about it. Let's hope that they behave while we do this. Be sure to follow me on all social media channels at SaveJXN. That's Save Jackson, at SaveJXN, from TikTok to Instagram to Facebook, YouTube, and more. Search Clay Edwards and or Save JXN, the Save Jackson. All right, overnight, I woke up this morning, some overnight news in Mississippi, should I say. I woke up this morning about 7 a.m. to go to work today, and I had multiple breaking news notifications from WLBT, as well as some other local push notification news channel apps and whatnot. There were 3 mass shootings at nightclubs in Mississippi last night, all predominantly black nightclubs, all black victims, all, best I can tell, black suspects as well. Why do I mention the race? Well, it's relevant. It's relevant. And we're going to have a conversation here towards the end of this, or in a little bit anyway, about when is it acceptable to mention a suspect's race, black or white? And the answer is the complete opposite. When it's okay to mention somebody black, and when it's okay to mention somebody white, and when it's not okay. And the answers are complete opposite in both scenarios. When you can mention somebody black, you can't mention somebody white. When you can mention somebody white, you can't mention somebody black. And they're both for nefarious reasons. We're going to ask why. I know you'll be listening to this later after the fact. You can't respond in live time, but I will be checking the comments on YouTube, and you can text me at any time. The Guns and Gear text line, this goes straight to my cell phone. This is just like having my cell phone number, 769-241-1944, 769-241-1944. Man, be sure to get out there and support our great sponsor, Guns and Gear. They're located out there on 51 North in Gluckstadt. You can shop them online, Guns and Gear MS. They are the home of No Limit Ammo. Heck, I bought a gun from them and some ammo in the last few weeks. Bought 2 guns from them, actually. So get out there and support Guns and Gear. I'll tell you now, this is going to be an uncensored podcast. I cuss a lot. I don't do it on the radio. In real life, it flows a little easier. So we're just going to go on and start it now. I'm letting y'all know. So in case you got kids with you, you're going to want to hit pause now. We're going to give out a couple fucked around and found out championships. If you're watching on video, you can see the fucked around and found out belt right above my left shoulder hanging on the wall there. That is a WWF Winged Eagle heavyweight championship that I have just decided that is the fucked around and found out championship. And we issue it to people on a weekly and daily basis sometimes around here that do dumb things, particularly criminals and Jackson and or around. So we're going to start with the Mississippi mass shootings at nightclubs. that left 3 dead and 12 more people shot and injured. They said injured. I'm assuming they got shot. Some of them got shot. Some of them reported as injuries. We're, for the sake of arguing, and I'll correct later if need be, they all got shot. There's mass shootings. I mean, be clear, please. Let's start in Natchez. 2 teens dead. 2 people injured after a shooting at a Natchez club. 2 teenagers were shot and killed, and 2 other people suffered gunshot wounds near a Natchez nightclub Friday night. According to the Natchez Democrat, I bet it was a Natchez Democrat, the shooting occurred around 10:30 p.m. in the parking lot of a club on Devereaux Drive. Adams County Coroner James Lee revealed the identities of the teenage victims. Travion Jones, 19, and Devin Winchester, 19, both succumbed to the gunshot wounds sustained. Authorities told the Natchez Democrat at least 2 other people were injured in the shooting and were transported to Merit Health in Natchez. The identities of the other 2 victims are unknown at this time. The extent of their injuries is also unknown as well. No information of a potential suspect has been released. All right, let's go down to South Mississippi. Well, I guess Natchez is South Mississippi also, just on the west side of the state. Let's go down to Ocean Springs, to the Gulf Coast. Let's see here. And hey, we got an update since the last time I read the story. There is a suspect in custody. All right, Ocean Springs. 1 person dead, 6 injured in a mass shooting in Ocean Springs. Downtown Ocean Springs, one of my favorite communities in the country. But apparently this bar has been trouble as of late, according to some people on my Facebook page. The Scratch Kitchen Bar and Patio. All right, Ocean Springs is on WLOX. According to a press release sent out by Ocean Springs Police Department, a suspect is in custody following a shooting at the Scratch Kitchen Bar and Restaurant in Ocean Springs. At this time, the identity of the suspect will not be released as the investigation continues, said Ocean Springs Police Chief Mark Dunstan. Detectives are continuing to conduct interviews and do not want details to taint any forthcoming information. Investigators say the incident took place around 11 p.m. The shooting left 1 person dead while injuring 6 others. Jackson County Deputy Coroner James Priscock has since identified the victim as Chase Harmon, 19, of Moss Point. Surveillance photos released by police Saturday morning showed a man wanted for questioning, but investigators have now ruled that suspect out. Ocean Springs Police still ask for anyone with information about the shooting to call investigators, 228-875-2211. The Scratch Kitchen is in a busy section of downtown. Bars and restaurants usually packed on nights and weekends. Cinco de Mayo celebrations also drew out a huge crowd Friday night. Witnesses on social media recounted their efforts to help victims as they waited for first responders to arrive. One person described holding his T-shirt over the wound of one victim and comforting a family member of another one. Early Saturday morning, the backside of the Scratch Kitchen Bar and Restaurant patio area facing DeSoto Avenue was still roped off with crime scene tape as investigators worked the scene. You can go see these photos for yourself at WLBT.com or WLOX.com. They got all that there. All right, so that's 1 dead, 6 injured in Ocean Springs in a mass shooting Friday night. The Democrats in Mississippi are not handling Cinco de Mayo well. Let's go over to the west side of the state, west central Mississippi. Let's go over to Vicksburg. Idiot George Flagg, the mayor over there. He gets love around here for some reason because he crossed the line and went and met with Trump. Like, we're supposed to forgive him for all the nonsense he did during COVID. He's another one that locked his citizens down and forced people to wear masks and had curfews. That's a fucking idiot in my book. I don't care who he met with. Let's go over to his town. Great city, by the way. I love Vicksburg. Shout out to my folks over there in Vicksburg, Nick and Crystal. They manage a restaurant over there. Good friends of mine. I love those folks. On WLBT, 4 people suffered gunshot wounds during a shooting at a Vicksburg nightclub Friday night. According to Vicksburg police, the shooting occurred at Jacques' bar around midnight. 1 victim was treated and released at the scene. Another victim was transported to Merit Health River Region and later transferred to UMMC. The last 2 victims were transported to UMMC by a private vehicle. The extent of all of their injuries is unknown. Vicksburg police say 2 subjects have been detained and are being questioned. The identities of the subjects, and the 4 victims have not been released. I'm going to go on and speculate. I'm going to go on and speculate that all parties involved were black. And we're going to make this about that. We're going to make this about race, because you know how I know they're not white? You know how I know? Because they haven't released a photo of them, and they haven't released their names. Because if they were white, this would be a national headline news. So that's how you know they're not. And we're going to talk about this white versus black deal here in a little bit on the show. When is it okay to talk about the suspects being black, and when is it okay to talk about them being white? And the answers are the complete opposite. But I want to dedicate a little time to it. All right, so that was Mississippi mass shootings, all happening Friday night, Cinco de Mayo, here in Mississippi. I know, and our Democrats here in Jackson and Canton, they don't like being outdone. The thugometer is going to be ratcheted up. I expect pure chaos in Jackson, Mississippi, here tonight, Saturday, May 6, 2023. We will do another emergency podcast tomorrow, if so. We'll definitely be talking about all this on Monday morning's radio show, Clay Edwards Show, on 103.9 FM WYAB from 7 to 9 a.m. Either way, we're going to rehash all this. I just couldn't wait. I was too fired up. I had some downtime. It was either work out or run my mouth. Which one do y'all think I chose? All right. Some more news. Nobody else is reporting this yet, except Clay Edwards. I trust my sources, as they say. Rarely are they wrong, especially when they're witnesses. So with Thursday night, Friday morning around 1 a.m., Pearl police go on a pursuit, a high-speed chase from the Flying J in Pearl into South Jackson. They spot around 1 a.m. They spot a Dodge Shed, 2022 model with mag. They go to pull it over. It said, hell no, I'm ready to fuck around and find out. Hashtag escape to criminal safe haven Jackson, Mississippi. Well, that's exactly what they did, or what they tried to do, should I say. They get into Jackson. They run a red light, I believe is believed to be what happened. And they plow into the side of a 2019 Jeep Cherokee on the corner of Ellis Avenue and Raymond Road. I was right over there by the old Sack and Save by New Horizon Church. That church where the preacher speaks out against the CCID and the expansion of HB 1020, but wanted to make sure his church was in it. Interesting. We're going to get to that later too. So there were 6 juveniles in the Jeep. All 6, and the 2 brothers driving the Charger, are all in the hospital in critical condition. Well, serious condition, 2 in critical, and I've actually since heard, unconfirmed, that one of them have died. So we'll see how all that shakes out. But here's the deal. If I seem to sound like I lack a little sympathy or empathy, it's because I do. At the end of the day, I never wish ill will on nobody, truly. We talk a lot, but you never wish death on anybody. The Dodge Charger was stolen, and what nobody's reporting yet is the Jeep was too. The Jeep was part of a carjacking in Jackson a couple days prior. It got stolen in a carjacking. I want to say Wednesday. They said 2 days earlier. You do the math, it comes up to about Wednesday or Thursday. So the kids are out joyriding. They're 14 to 17 years old in a carjacked Jeep. Now, I'm going to have to go out on a limb here and assume that one of them probably was the carjacker, right? I mean, because I'm guessing that somebody didn't carjack it and just give it to some kids. You don't go commit a aggravated assault, carjacking, all that stuff to just give it away to somebody else. Clearly, one of them most likely was the carjacker, right? Now, all 6, I doubt it. Some are just joyriding. They're along for the ride. But they know this ain't their homeboy's vehicle. They know he can't afford this. So, I mean, they know something suspicious is up. So they're out at 1 a.m. too. Now, of course, as should be of no surprise, the parents, which where are they any other time? The parents are mad as hell at Pearl for chasing the other people into Jackson and them people hitting the kids. Well, where were you when your kids are out at 1 a.m, riding around in a stolen vehicle? Were you mad then? Did you care where they were at then? You only care now because you think you can sue. That's what this is going to be about. And I hope they don't get a penny. I hope they do not get a penny. Then the Red Charger, little caveat here, it was stolen brand new off a car lot. It's never even been registered. I know it's not Mac Hike Flowwood. I called my GM buddy over there. He confirmed it was not their car. So it may have been stolen from the North Jackson lot, the Madison lot, or from another state. I do not know. I'm purely speculating. All right, so you're in Jackson where you can't even ride around in a stolen car peacefully, minding your own business, without another stolen car on a police pursuit plowing into you. Now, you want to talk about stupid fucking criminals. How stupid do you have to fucking be to go to Pearl, Mississippi in a stolen car at 1 a.m. at a truck stop that you know they keep an eye on for lot lizards and drugs and everything else, and you don't have a tag on it? There's reasonably intelligent criminals sitting back thinking, fucking idiots. Fucking idiots. I mean, at least if you're going to do something like that, stay in Jackson. They deserve 2 fucked around to find out trophies. One for going to Pearl and another one for the police pursuit. Good Lord, I can't wait till their names are released. Have they been released yet? Let me look over the article here. As of right now, they have not released their names. But what I do know is they're 22 and 23 years old. So, and the wreck was bad enough that they had to administer CPR on the side of the road for some of the victims. I don't know if it was the ones in the Charger or the ones in the Jeep or both or whatever. So, all right, so 3 mass shootings, 12 people shot, 3 people dead, 8 people in one car accident, all in critical condition at the hospital. 1 potentially died. This is all Friday, May 5th in Mississippi. Good Lord. I'm telling you, something's going to pop off in Jackson tonight. Something's going to pop off. I'd be shocked otherwise. In Laurel yesterday, there was a workplace shooting. Let me pull this up here. I'm going to my Facebook page where I got it. Another member of the LGBTQ IA+ minority community went in and shot up Howard Industries and shot a fella there. Let's see here. This is a news clipping. It says the suspect in Friday morning shooting at Howard Industries has been arrested by the Mississippi Highway Patrol in Stone County. The suspect, identified as Keith E. Hinton, he was arrested about 10:30 Friday morning. He is accused of shooting one man who multiple sources have identified as 57-year-old Dale Thornton. He was taken by EMS Serve ambulance to South Central Regional Medical Center, then transferred to Forest General Hospital in Hattiesburg. And it's got a picture here of the LGBTQ alphabet boy. And look, man, we ain't got no problem with the gay folks. But again, we're going to mention it because this is the same group of people that love to sit back and talk about every straight white conservative with an AR-15 is the greatest threat to the democracy of this United States of America ever in its existence. But since Joe Biden's been president, I want to say every mass shooter has been a member of the Alphabet Soup Boys, especially this year. Some of the worst ones have all been members of the Alphabet Mafia. So we're gonna highlight that because these are people I think you need to keep an extra eye peeled on. Between the transgender stuff and everything else, I just think it's worth keeping your eye on them. They keep their eye on us. They keep their eyes wide open on us. Hurt to keep don't hurt to keep yours peeled on them. I'm just saying. I'm gonna say the uncomfortable part out loud. Need to be paying attention. Let's see here. Let's talk about the other thing. Let's talk about when it's okay to mention if somebody's black or white in these stories. Now, everybody gets all upset when I mention, for no real reason, that the suspects are black in a situation. Like these, I said these black nightclubs, mass shootings. I made a Facebook and an Instagram post about it. Nobody cares about anything else except that I mentioned that it was black nightclubs. Well, it is. Now, the only time you're allowed to mention somebody's black is if they own a business, they won something, they got a promotion, an election, I guess that'd be winning something, or did something good, got a scholarship, something like that. You can always have to mention that they're black. First black this, black guy this, black girl this. And the other times you're also allowed to mention black is if they were wronged by a white person in any way, form, or fashion, or shot by the police. Then you also have to mention they're black. Times that it's not okay to mention black. When they do anything wrong. Anything. Commit a crime. Anything. Can't mention they're black. When is it okay to mention someone is white? Only when they commit a crime, do something wrong, or wrong an African American, a minority, or a member of the LGBTQIA plus community. That is the only time you're allowed to mention if somebody's white. You cannot say this is a white-owned business. You cannot say white guy won anything, first white guy. You can't ever acknowledge any of that stuff. And you know why? Because it sounds ridiculous and you don't need to do it anyway. But why is it not ridiculous when it's black? That's all I want to understand. And don't just simply call me a racist. Explain to me why it's okay to always mention somebody black's race when it makes them look good or they did something good, but not the other way around. It's all really pivoted. I mean, hardcore post George Floyd, in my opinion. Ever since then, you're not allowed to, they get mad at me for even questioning black folks, especially questioning their ability to be leaders. And look, I'm not saying that black folks can't lead. I'm just saying the ones in Jackson, Mississippi have a really, really hard time with that task. And the sample size of what they've done in Jackson lends plenty of credence to that opinion. Now, these are black Democrats I'm talking about here. Good God-fearing black conservatives, I ain't talking to y'all. Good God-fearing black normies, I ain't talking to y'all. I'm talking about these hardcore, dyed-in-the-wool black Democrats. And the white ones are absolutely idiots. I talk about y'all, I question y'all because I'm more disappointed in y'all. These white ones are special. They're a lost cause. I'm trying to figure out why the black folks have been sucked into this nonsense. I grew up around black folks. I guess that's why it hurts my feelings a little more to see them act like this. But to each their own. It is what it is. So that's Clay Edwards' opinion on this black versus white, suspect versus criminal versus winner. I don't know how you want to word that. But when it's okay to say black versus when it's okay to say white. And until we can start treating everybody the same, everything's going to be different. It's just really aggravating, isn't it? But again, because I point these things out, your cancel culture vultures will come after me. But I ain't going nowhere. Whether I got a radio show or I got to do it right here from my house. Save Jackson World Headquarters out here in Brandon, Mississippi. Safe, gorgeous Brandon, Mississippi. So I'm going to keep on keeping on. All right, let's see here. I guess that's really about it. I want to close with something about HB 1020. It got put on ice for a minute. Parts of it got put on ice for a minute from a judge. And I got to having a broader thought about it. Bigger picture. I've had a chance, and if you don't know, HB 1020 is the House bill that passed and been signed by the governor that expands the CCID, that's the Capital City Improvement District, as well as adds more Capitol Police, as well as they appoint some judges and kind of creates a additional judiciary system within the CCID, because the Hinds County judicial system, criminal justice system, is an absolute joke. Then they don't punish criminals, black ones anyway. And it just is what it is. The facts back that up. The numbers back that up. And people in Jackson need to start being punished for their crimes properly. And the people in this, this does not affect good God-fearing folks in Jackson. This what affects you negatively. And if you're a criminal, you don't want these things. So the only people I've seen stand up and raise hell and fight about this CCID expansion in HB 1020 are dope boys. And I'm just lumping all criminals in as a dope boy. You dope boys, your free-to-land politicians, your race baiters, your black for a living folks like Chokwe and Lumumba, and NAACP, and all these type organizations, Southern Poverty Law Center, ACLU, these domestic terrorist groups, your black for a living preachers in cities like Jackson, Pastor Pickett and that bunch. These guys are the very guys that are hoping, praying, begging, please, for a Jacktown George Floyd incident so they can all try to become national celebrities. These are the only people that seem to be against making the blackest city in the state, and I think percentage-wise in the country, making it safer. They do not want that. They don't need it. They can't say that worked. They can't say that the Republicans had to step in to save Jackson. But if I'm a normie in Jackson, and I consider myself still a Jacksonian, 43 of my 45 years were spent in Jackson. I just left 2 years ago. It only came 5 miles down the road, but I had to get somewhere safe. If I'm looking at that, I'm like, well, hold on. Why are the pastors, the pimps, the politicians, and the dope boys on the same page on this thing? And they're the ones pulling the wool over everybody's eyes. They're the ones benefiting from all this crime. All these government grants, getting out of jail free, not being messed with by the police. Very interesting, isn't it? And I think people should really think about that. Why is it that the people who should have your best interest at heart, your pastors and your politicians, seem to be A-OK with leading the country in homicides, STDs, and violent crime in Jackson, Mississippi? We should really question this. You don't have to like the messenger here, but you should really take what I'm saying and dissect it a little bit and try to figure that out. I'm going to close there. It's Saturday, May 6th, 2023. It's Derby Day here in America. I don't watch it, but I might watch it today. I'm going to enjoy my afternoon. I'm going to grill a steak, chill out. Y'all have a blessed one. Stay safe, stay blessed. Guys, don't cut your dicks off. Tune in Monday morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., 103.9 FM, the free-range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio, the realest show on radio, the most incendiary show in Central Mississippi, at least in the mornings. My buddy Kim Wade runs a close race with me on incendiaryism from 4 to 6 on the same radio station. Podcast is available every day, a new episode by 10 a.m. Central Time. Just search Clay Edwards Show wherever you download podcasts or stream music, or ClayEdwardsShow.com. The 5 most recent episodes are always on the home screen. You can find the links to all of my social media outlets, or follow me at SaveJXN. Hit me up on the Guns and Gear text line. Disagree with something I said? Agree with something I said? Got a news story? Got a photo you want me to share? You can stay anonymous. 769-241-1944. This has been the Clay Edwards Show, special Saturday emergency broadcast edition. Peace.